Were you bullied or like you said terrible?
Bullied.
Yeah.
I didn't go into like any extracurricular activities. I did want to be in a band real bad. I wanted to be in a band
A
so
lot of
bad.
people like to go do the band. Yeah.
Yeah, because I love music, and my mother bought me a saxophone and everything, and I was gonna play the saxophone and all that. But it was like I was taking general music and couldn't read music, so it was kind of like, why am I trying to be
Right.
in a band and I can't read music? But that was the only thing I wanted to do was be in a band because I love music so much. But that didn't happen. However, other things that happened from like grade 4 till about mm, maybe like grade 9, I was bullied.
Mhm.
Um, and it was one of those terrible times. It was terrible. Like when people look at me or when they talk to me, if people notice me, I don't really look people directly in the eye like that. I still don't look at people directly in the eye. I can't look at people directly in the
Let
eye.
me tell you something before you go. I gotta say something.
Uh-huh.
I just want to let you know that sometimes, all the people that think I was rude when I look at you in the eye, I got a lazy eye, okay? So sometimes it may
Mhm.
wander. So you may think I'm not looking at you, but see what it's doing? You see? It's right there.
Yeah.
It's right there. You see? So, so if you think I'm not looking at you in your eye, there's a reason. And I can't control it. So yeah.
Right.
But for other than that, I'm very shy as well. So I just wanted to I
Yeah,
want
I
to
don't look I
make
don't look at
away.
people directly in the eye. And because like growing up in school, like I can remember a lot of instances that happened. Like I've had like chocolate milk thrown in my face and don't know
Oh,
why. I remember
mm,
sitting in the gym by myself one day listening to my Walkman because I love music, of course, like I said before. Probably was listening to some Boys to Men album or some Ice Cube Wu-Tang album or something like that.
yeah.
Sitting by myself, and all of a sudden I get slapped in my face, and then five of the boys, and then I get held down by the same guy that hit me, and five of the boys come and take turns punching me. Um, let me see. I remember going to the bathroom using a urinal, and one of the guys that used to pick on me, I'm using the urinal, he gets behind me and humps me from behind,
What?
and things like it was things like that that would happen. They
What?
tormented me when I was in school. Like they did terrible things to me. Or for example, I remember being sitting down in English class in the 7th grade, and you know how people back then would pass notes around when we had
Yes,
notes.
yes.
I get a note handed to me and I open it and there's mucus in it. It's like stuff like that that would happen. And I never could understand, what did I do? Why y'all don't like me? Why are y'all bothering me? Why are y'all
Oh my
picking on
God.
me so hard?
Mm.
And it wasn't just guys. Sometimes it would be girls. And, I had to fight a girl off of me,
Mm, right, right.
because she followed me, and,
Self-defense. Yeah.
you gay ass bitch, you this, you that, blah, blah, blah. And then she hit me in my eye. So I hit her back and we
Well, let me
fought.
ask you, all this that you went through, were you able to go to anybody did you tell anybody about this? Did you go to anyone?
I definitely went to like teachers about it. They didn't care.
Yeah, yeah.
Went to
Because I was gonna
principals
say,
about it.
yeah.
They didn't care.
Mm.
So it back
Did you go to
then.
anybody in your family? Because family members usually are protected. They usually they will come rolling in and do some things. So you ain't tell anybody in your family?
Now I told a lot of times I would keep it from my mother, which was a lot of reasons why she would be so mad at me because I would keep things from her. But the times that I did tell her, my mother would march right up to that school,
Right, right.
raise hell, and let them know what was going on. But a lot of times, I didn't want to be that little boy that was running to his mama telling her everything. I would just try to keep it to
Mm,
myself and not
mm.
really try to deal with it on my own. But I knew that I couldn't really deal with it, and because I was the oldest, I was like put not necessarily saying I was put on a pedestal, but I had this pressure on me that you're the oldest, so the
You have to
oldest
do
is
right. Mhm.
is looked to protect the younger siblings. But for me, it was like, well, I can't really protect myself, so how can I protect them if I can't protect myself?
Let me ask you,
So
Scotty, because how for first of all, I want to know how did you rise above all of that you went through, and secondly, I wanted to know, did you ever come across anyone that was very dismissive of the whole bullying thing? Because a lot of people at that time growing up, bullying used to be, they felt like it's a rite of passage. No, it's not. It's not okay. So you always get these people that be like, oh, well, that just means that they like you, or just ignore them. That's a part of life. Kids are cruel, and it's just always brush it off. And it's like, as you get older, you realize, no, that's not okay.
It was definitely
Yeah.
dismissive. That were dismissive, like
Yeah.
family members that were dismissive. They say, "Oh, ain't nothing wrong with you," or "You just sensitive," or something like that. So when
Hmm.
you hear stuff like that, it's kind of like, okay, so why am I telling them anything then?
Exactly. So let me ask you, because I want to know if I could relate to you on this one. As you got older, did you become defensive? Did you become
Yes,
okay? So it's not just me, okay? Because they quick to say that about me. It's like you could say any hurtful thing you want, and if I respond to it, I'm defensive. But if I come at you and you respond a certain way, I'm supposed to eat it. I'm supposed to just take
and
accountability.
that's the way my life is right
Yeah.
now. And
So
I can
yeah.
honestly say
Yeah.
that I tell my story about depression. I tell my story about
Hmm.
bullying all the time. And I always tell people, when you go through bullying at a young age, it follows you into your adulthood.
Yes, it does.
So going into my adulthood, I was very defensive. Um, people may not even be making fun of me or anything like that, but that's the way I take it, because that's
Started.
that's
Hmm.
how it started.
Hmm.
So even now, like, I could get like, it's I'm getting a little better with being defensive, but I still had that defensive nature about me, because there's sometimes it's like, okay, are you joking or are you not? Because now I'm ready to pop off
Ah,
at you now.
oh
So
goodness. Yes. Okay.
I've calmed
Mhm.
down a lot over the last couple of years, but there was a time where I was very defensive, to the
Mhm.
point to where could nobody really say anything to me. I remember me and my cousin were roommates in college, and the guys that would come to the room to hang out, they wouldn't say anything to me because I was closed off
Right.
and
You
defensive.
didn't. They didn't. Yeah, because they didn't know how you was going to receive them.
Right. So
Wow. And you know what? It's so funny you mentioned about whether, you can't tell whether or not a person is joking or serious, because it's the reverse for me, because I have a warped sense of humor, and my my way of speaking is, not always received as well, because I ruffle a lot of feathers with the way that I express myself, and a lot of people don't take my tone too well. So
right.
sometimes I feel like they always say, I don't know whether you're joking or whether you're serious. So it's like, okay, well, I'm not sure what to tell you. But yeah, so it just kind of resonated with me when you said that. But so when dealing with the bullying, how did that affect your performance in school? How did that affect
Oh,
you?
I can tell you, when you start off school, your first grade year, second grade year, your first grade year, you're on the principal's list, you're a straight A student. Your second grade year, you are on the roll, somewhat principal list. Then you make it to the third grade, and you can barely get all B's. And then by the fourth grade, you make your first F.
And that's to seem like, and that's where you got the most attention now, didn't you? When you started
Yes.
failing, that's where you got the most attention. Yeah, I figured. Yeah.
And then by the fifth and the sixth grade, it was, I never just felt like I never got held back, but I did enough to get by because I didn't like school. I didn't want to be there. Like
Right.
I
Right.
was
Yeah.
halfway, by this point, I was halfway listening. And all my teachers would tell my mom and parents teacher conferences that, oh, he's very intelligent. He's smart. I don't know why the grades doesn't reflect that and stuff like that. And then my mom would get upset with me because she knows that I'm not applying myself. And I understood that, but it was annoying because it's like, I know I can apply myself, but how can I apply myself when I got a bunch of
Right. You're
door dogs
tormented.
growling
Mhm.
at me every day, going to school, bothering me every day at school? And when I get home from school, it's not that peaceful when you get home from school, because you live in a house with a stepfather that's just as menacing as the kids that you go to school with. So
And
how do
then you
you
have to,
expect my
right.
performance to be
You
perfect?
come home, right? Exactly. You come home, and you coming home with responsibilities that a grown man should have. So
Exactly.
that's a factor as well. So I'm so sorry that you went through that. By the way,
Mhm.
I'm really sorry for that. Um, but I also wanted to see, like, from that experience, how did that? What did you take with you? Okay, okay, two part again.
Mhm.
Go transitioning from elementary, junior high, because high school, like, I really want to get more into your high school stage, because that's like
Okay.
that's pivotal. I think to me that would be pivotal, because in this coming from that space,
Yeah.
what did you take with you, good or bad? What did you take with you once you entered high school? What did you take with you, good or bad? You
Okay.
know. Mhm.
Okay. So when I got to high school, that's when I started to get a voice. I started to get a voice. Now, ninth grade year was probably was one of the last years of my school life where I was gonna deal with the bullying. Like it had, I think
Yeah,
I
it
had
had to stop. It
lost,
had to end.
I think I lost my mind at that point because I started bringing knives to school. And
Mm.
then I started bringing like pepper spray to school or going in my mom's purse and taking her blackjack and putting it in my book bag. Like
Ooh.
it was stuff
Yeah.
like
Yes.
that. And I
Yes.
think by that
Mm.
point I had had enough
Yes. You were fed
and
up. Yeah.
I was tired of it.
Right.
So I think it was one situation where it was this guy. I was riding about the bus with him. It was this guy. From the moment we started riding that bus together, because I was in the ninth grade that year, he was in the 10th. So we was riding the bus. He would verbally come at me all day, the whole
Mhm.
bus ride to school. Then I'm like, oh, I gotta ride this bus with him going home.
Mhm.
Like
Mhm.
like I can't escape it. I can't escape it. I
Mhm.
can't escape it. So I brought a knife to school, and I
Wow.
was saying, if he comes at me, I'ma cut him. And then it got back to him that I said that. So
Yeah.
one day
Mm.
we were in tutoring one day, and I was waiting on my mom to come and pick me up from tutoring, and he just so happened to be there. And he got in my face. He threatened to beat me up and all this other stuff. And I just stood there looking at him, and I'm just like, okay, beat me up then.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
because I didn't
Like,
want to
bring it.
fight.
Right.
Didn't want to fight him at all because I've never just been no fighter. Am I
Right. But
afraid
if you
to
had to,
fight?
you would.
Yeah. Am I
Yeah.
afraid to fight? No. But I didn't want to fight him. Because I just want him to leave me the fuck alone. Like, oh, I'm sorry. I just want him to leave me alone.
Mhm.
So he just stood in my face. He screamed at me for a good 30 minutes. I beat your ass.
Minutes. 20 minutes.
All that, and I'm just standing there like, okay, if he was gonna hit me, he would have been did it by now. I'm not gonna make the first move. I'm not gonna touch him first. So it is what, because I never touch people first. I'm never gonna
Right.
make the first move.
Right.
So he screamed at me. He screamed at me. He screamed at me. He screamed at me. Don't ever say you gonna cut me. Don't ever say. And I'm like, I am.
Mhm.
Like just leave me
Like,
alone. Like I am. Like it's in my book bag right now. It's one of my mama's good knives too. So just leave me alone. And then my mother pulled up and I walked away and I went home. And from that point, I didn't see him anymore. So that reminded me of an incident in the seventh grade where this same guy was not that guy, but the same guy that sent me the note with the mucus in it. He was another
mhm.
guy that would constantly
Yeah.
bother me and bother me and
Right.
bother me
Right.
until I blacked out and kicked him in the nose that day and made it bleed.
Mm.
And he
Mm.
wanted to, and he tried to fight me after school.
Mm.
But y'all bothering me. But then when I respond, it's a problem. Like,
Problem is, of course, of course.
you know. So that situation in the ninth grade with that guy where I said I was gonna that I brought the knife to school for him and stuff like that. I said, okay, Scott, you losing it. Because it was to the point where I had told my mom that I wanted to drop out. I was ready
Mm.
to drop out of high school at that.
Mhm.
I was 15 when I told my mom that. I said, I don't want to go back to school anymore. Like I'd rather drop out
Right.
and get a GED. I don't want to go back.
Mm.
And of course, my mama wasn't having it. So because I said I don't want to deal with this anymore. Like I don't want to constantly deal with this. Like I want to kill myself. I don't want to go to school. Like I'm tired. Like every time I go to school, I have to. I'm scared to walk in big groups. I'm scared to walk into a big group of people. I go the other way so I can avoid big crowds of people. I don't like walking by myself. I
Right.
barely have any friends. I don't want to deal with this anymore. So we got into the 10th grade, and I told myself on the first day of school, I looked at myself in the mirror and I said, I am not going to deal with this year. I'm not dealing with it this year. I promise you I'm not. And I didn't. You couldn't shut me up.
Mm. Yeah.
I was extra defensive, though. I was
Yeah.
extra
Mhm. Right.
defensive. Like you
Right.
could say nothing to me. I was going to black out on you. students, teachers, the whole nine. I blacked out on everybody by that point. But then, it's kind of like more people started to like me because I started black. I don't know what it was. Like more people started to like me then. Like I started getting more friends and stuff. Mainly
Yeah, I don't know.
female.
It's like, yeah, it seemed like you do get more respect when you have more bass in your voice, you plump out your
Yeah.
chest, so I guess they respect you more for that for whatever reason. I mean,
Mhm.
but why do you think, like, what do you think about that? What is your perspective on that?
To be honest, I was always wondering, like, why did it take for me to black out or curse
Yeah, you're
these people
right.
out for them to show me a little bit of respect? Now, I was still having a little trouble with some of the guys, but a lot of the females were the girls were befriending me a lot. Like I ran with a big pack of girls. Like they were my
Wow.
friends.
Right,
And
right.
then I had, your select male friends that was jumping onto my side and being friends with me. And of course, some people, we're in high school. So there were some people who didn't want to be friends with me because of the whole the rumors of me being gay. Nobody really knew that I was gay or not. Like, because I never had no boyfriend. I didn't date a guy in high school. I never said anything about liking guys in high school. That's just what they assumed.
What they were
So they didn't
saying.
want a lot of guys didn't want to befriend me because of the gay stuff. But then there was some who didn't care about the gay stuff. They just liked me as a person.
Right.
So by the time I got to senior year in high school, I was like, could nobody shut me up by then. By the
Right,
time I
and
got
I
to the
think that's
10th
what it
grade,
was too. Right, I
yeah.
think as you gotten older, I think they understood what they were not able to get away with, when it came to you, and I think that's what it was too. I think that when you were younger, they was able to walk all over you. You didn't have a voice, like you said, and they just knew they could continue to get away with whatever they was getting away with because no one did anything. You didn't have that support system. But then as you gotten older, you're like, wait a minute, this is okay. This is not the way it's supposed to be. This is not this is not going to go down the way it's going to go down anymore. I'm fed up with this. I have to take a different approach. And so once you did that, once you let them know or you made it clear what they're not able to get away with,
Mhm.
that I think to me, that definitely resonated, with them and say, okay, let me be this person's friend. Let me play it safe and be this person's friend.
Right.